Right, let's move this up a notch. Now I've called this my purchase template, and what I want to do is I want to just set it up. I'll set up a macro now that what it will do is simply make a copy of this worksheet, create a tab for it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to clean this particular one out of any quantities that have been bought. Okay? So, let's deal with that right now. How do we do that? Well, I think what I'll do is I'll do it straight away as a macro, so I know that I'm going to be repeating this process. So I'm going to go Tools, Macro, Macros. No, I'm not. I'm going to record a new macro. Thank you for shouting that out. And we'll call this, let's call this one Archive Purchase. So now the computer is going to record exactly what I'm going to do. Right? So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to right click. I'm going to select Move or Copy. I'm then going to select Create a Copy, but I'm going to move it to the end. I'm going to press OK. And then what I'm going to do is I want to delete the customer that bought it, and I want to delete quantities that they bought. I'm back with my purchase it, and I'm going to, so I'll click an A1. I'm going to stop that. Now that's great, but you'll notice, oh, I did it wrong. I was on the wrong one. What an idiot. Never mind, let's try that again then. Let's delete that. Let's go back to purchase template, and someone should have said, oh, you're on the wrong sheet, you idiot. Never mind, let's try that again. Tools, Macro, Record New Macro. What did we call it? Archive underscore purchase. Hopefully this is going to ask me to replace it. Yes. Good. Try that again. Right click, move or copy, create a copy, move to the end, press OK. But whatever you do, don't delete it from here. Go back to the template, delete the customer's name, delete how many they ordered, and let's go back to A1 there, and now we'll stop our macro. So that's great, and to prove to you it works, let's put another one. We'll put Bob in there, and we'll just say Bob orders 5 of them, like so, and we'll go Tools. In fact, let's not do Tools Macro Run. Let's do it properly. Let's get our forms, isn't it? Let's put our button on there. Save all this nonsense. Yeah, we'll call it button 1. We're running archive purchase. We press OK, and you can change the text, but we're just going to button 1. And fantastic, and you can see here now that we've got Bob's order there, and we've got David's order there. Okay. You happy with that? So what happens every time we place an order, it sticks them on little worksheets at the end. So we've always got a record of who's ordered what date it was done, and it gives us our little template here that we can work with. The slight problem is this. If I said, can you bring up David's order, please? Well, which one is it? What we'd really like to do is, as well as moving that sheet, we'd like to rename it with the name of the person that's in that cell. It's not difficult to do, but you need to write a little bit of code here. So let's go to our macros. Tools, Macro, Macros, and let's go and find that macro that we just did, Archive Purchase, and we're going to go Edit. And here it is, down the bottom, Archive Purchase. So when you can see here now that what it does, it says go to the purchase template and then copy it after there. Now before we go back to the purchase template, when we've copied it, if you like, at this point we're on the copy of the template. So what I want to do is this. I want to then rename it at this point. So when if I explain, let me just pop back. At this point, let's pop back to book 1. There we go. At this point in the macro, what we've done is we've copied it to there, but it's called purchase template. And before we go back to delete the stuff from in here, we want to rename this. So that's what it's doing here. It copies it, it pastes it, and then what we do is that before we go back, we rename it here. And the way we rename it is this. We just go active sheet, oh, if you can spell it, name, equals, range, and then in brackets and in speech marks, so in the middle there, we need to say what cell is the data going to come from. Well, let's just quickly pop back to the book. So Bob is in C4. Back to our code, so we need to put in C4. Happy? Right. Let's show you it working. You ready? Let's do a back to our purchase template. We'll call it Neil. Bit sexist, I suppose. We'll go 10. He can have 10. He can have 10. And let's run our macro. Look at that. Neil appears down the bottom. Now it is possible, because some people think, well, if you've got lots of people called Neil, then, you know, that doesn't make much sense. You have lots of tabs called Neil. It is a little difficult, and I'm not going to go into it now, but if you wanted to, you could actually, I mean, I think the easiest thing for you to do is when it says name, to put someone's full name in, and then that makes sense. It would be possible to rename the sheet with two things. So, for example, it might say David and then today's date. But this won't work. It won't work because the way the date is stored, it's got slashes there, which is a character that you're not allowed to use in naming sheets. The problem I have there, if I use the today function to do it manually or to automatically, what I can't then do is format that to text, which I could put in. For example, if I were to go to format cells and say, well, okay, we'll have this as text, it comes up with 40527, which is the code that Excel's using to generate the 15th of December of that particular year. If I just put it back to format cells and we put it back to date, you can see we've got 15th of the 12th 2010, which is what we want. So unfortunately I can't do that. There is a solution though. If you were to literally type in 15/December like this, the computer recognizes that as a date and does it like that. But if you were to say, actually, let's make it the 15th of December, like so, but actually, well, let's go format cells, make it a text first of all, and then we type in 15 December, like so. It does store it as a text string. So let's put a girl's name, we'll put Emma, and she can buy 20 of each. Oh. But of course, when I name my cell, what I want it to do is say Emma 15th of December. So what I'm going to do is back in the code, I'm going to go to get the code up again, Tools, Macros, and we'll go back into the code, Archive Purchase, we'll edit that, and we've got a little bit down here, where are we, down here, isn't it? Active sheet name, range C4. I'm going to put an ampersand, and then I'll put put a space actually there, and range, capital R, range, brackets, speech marks, I think it's C2, wasn't it? We'll just double check before we run it. Range C2, and yep, C2 is good. So now if we archive this one, it says Emma 15th of December. Now, interesting enough, it actually says Emma 15 December. I might want a space between the Emma and the 15. So, if I wanted to do it that way, Tools, Macros, it's a little bit complicated. I'll remind you of an old joke. It's not an old joke, it's a lateral thinking problem. I'll show you in a moment. Where am I going to edit? That's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put range C4 and then I'm going to put a speech mark and a space. In fact, I'll put a couple of spaces, another speech mark, and an and there. So what it's going to do is put Emma, then put a few spaces, and then put December the 15th. And to prove to you that actually works, let's put I don't know, Sally, and let's make them 10 of those and 10 of those, and 10 of those. And now when I button 1, see, you've got the spaces between Sally and 15th December. So that's another way that you could deal with that problem if you wanted to do it that way. The lateral thinking problem that I was talking about, I'm off on a tangent now. Let's bring the code back up. It's an old one. It's basically, the thing is, how can you in the English language put the word and 6 times in a row, or was it 5 times in a row, and it make grammatical sense? And I don't know where I'm telling this actually. Let's go to macros. It kind of relates to this macro thing. And you know we've got this and business going on. It's basically, if you say a sign writer is doing a sign for the pub called the Dog and Duck, but he forgets the spaces between dog and duck, and he does dog and duck as one word. You could say the sign writer forgot the space between and, in speech marks, and no, he forgot the space between dog and duck. See? Anyway, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, it's nothing to do with macros. I'll just delete it. Anyway, I will stop wittering. What we'd like you guys to do is make yourself this sheet, and then you've made yourself that sheet already, haven't you? Make yourself the macros that basically rename the sheets and archive all the orders. Off you go.